Hey, and we're live on a Friday night, a special edition of the J Area live stream. Happy Friday, everybody. Hoping everyone had a great. Hold on, we got a little bit of a back talk here. There we go. And an exciting and eventful start to the stream there, as you kind of had two versions of me talking. But I'm hoping everybody had a great week. It is Friday. We've made it to the weekend. Hoping everyone has a great weekend ahead of them as well. Hoping you guys have some plans going on. And if not, hey, chill out, relax, recount the week that we had behind us and what we have ahead of us. Yesterday, we had an eventful live stream. We talked about the 2005 Royal Rumble. Got to talk about Hulk Hogan and the many lies that he's expressed throughout his lifetime. So it was so fun. I enjoyed it. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Obviously, if you're here in the chat with us tonight, you had to enjoy it a little bit, maybe, because he came back. If you weren't with us yesterday during that live stream, that's available in the archives. You can go back and just see some of the highlights of our favorite moments during that live stream. But it was so fun. I had a ball. That I had to take advantage of the timing, and why not have another live stream back-to-back days on a Friday. We didn't have one Monday. So this is my way of kind of making up the hours, putting that work back in and getting out to hang out with you guys. A very lively chat already. You guys were already waiting before the live stream even began. So I got to express my gratitude for that. Shout out to everybody in the chat here tonight. I see some members of the Main Event Mafia already. Sylvia, Alex, Gabs, Mama Ramos. Appreciate you all, of course, for continuing to support the channel, continuing to support this endeavor. And we're looking to have some fun. We're going to say hi to Laura real quick. Laura, what's going on? Hopefully you have a great Friday. An even better weekend. Peter Parker's checking in. We appreciate you, Peter Parker. How ironic as well. Gotta represent. You already know. Real one. It's finally Friday. You better believe it is. Nice to see Sylvia in the chat. Alex, using the custom emojis that you only have access to if you are a member of the Main Event Mafia. So shout out to Alex. Nacho Camacho's here as well. It is a little bit of an early live stream. We kind of run them a little late, but want to do something different here. Just a little hangout session between you and I here on the J Area live stream. We talk a lot about pro wrestling. I open these live streams up to talk about whatever you guys want. It's a conversation for not just myself, but hey, for all of you as well. This is very much your guys' live stream as much as it is mine. Gabs says hello. Hopes everyone has a great Friday. Likewise, we hope you're enjoying your Friday as well. And you even have a better weekend ahead of you. Mama Ramos says, we made it, guys. One more live stream. You better believe it. On a special Friday live stream, and I do have a little bit of a surprise during the live stream. Won't get into it early. That'll come in a little later. I want to see how many people. Thank you for the hearts in the chat, by the way. I saw that. I want to get a little bit more people here active before we go ahead and give them an opportunity to enjoy the surprise as well. But as you know, as you saw in the thumbnail, in the title, we're just going to hang out. And I'm going to take on some of these quizzes. You can also take part in the quizzes as well. I have a link in the description for the very same wrestling quizzes that I'm going to participate in right now. But hopefully everyone's having a great weekend, having a great week as well. So let's go ahead and start. I'm going to fix my lighting here because I don't like how pale I look right there. That's somewhat better. I really enjoy this website. I recently found it. If you had seen in previous videos, I did similar quizzes as well. I'm going to move myself here for a second. It is on Sporkle.com. They have a lot of quizzes, not just wrestling related. There's stuff like in regards to sports, film, plenty of other topics. If you're ever feeling in the mood of getting in a quiz, I know I like a good quiz. I like to keep the mind sharp and make sure that I retain a lot of the information that I've acquired over the years. They say if you don't use it, you lose it. Well, I'm trying to retain that muscle memory in my literal memory. So every now and then I like to do these quizzes, whether it's, again, wrestling related or sports related. More so sports related, because there's just so much history there. If you guys are familiar with the channel and the live streams, you know I'm very much a movie buff and a sports fan. Those are the two forms of entertainment, two forms of hobbies, I guess you can say, that I really like to participate in. The WWE has an extensive amount of history, though. I mean, this company, as far as we know it, began like in 1963. Prior to that, it was like Capital Wrestling. It went through different iterations, but like the WWF was in effective of like 1963, I believe, probably even beforehand. I don't want to shoot you guys in the wrong direction, but I know for a fact the WWE title was brought into place back in 1963. The company, I think, may have been in the 50s. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that's where we're at. We have a long list of options here. I know in the thumbnail I talked about naming every Royal Rumble winner. We'll get to that, but I'll open it up to you guys. First one in the chat here to throw out a suggestion. There's a list of topics, a list of quizzes to take. If anyone is feeling bold enough to go ahead and just name one, I'll just jump right into it. And I also want to point out, this is like a timed test. I don't think I'm going to try to go as quick as I can, because then that would just be kind of ineffective. I wouldn't be participating as much as with you guys. It would just be silent. It would see me being locked in. And believe me, I can lock in for sure. But I don't know if I want to do that to you guys. I want to interact with you guys and talk with you guys and just have a quick hangout. You know, it is a Friday Night SmackDown. For some places, like in the East Coast, I think is already running. But out here in the West Coast, it hasn't started yet. So I wanted to do maybe a 2-hour stream here and hang out with you guys and just, shoot the breeze. But yeah, I do have a little bit of a surprise headed your guys' way. I mean, certain people will say that. An exclusive club, if you will. But a big shout out to our members of the Main Event Mafia. I mean, seeing the names already pop up in the chat, like Alex, like Sylvia, Gabs, Mama Ramos, who just actually threw out number 11, which is the most WWE belts. I want to say that's probably like championship wins. So again, for those who aren't familiar with it, I do have a link in the description. If you ever want to take part in these type of quizzes, again, I enjoy them. I like to keep the mind sharp and make sure I retain certain information. So I haven't began the quiz yet, but as you can see, there's a score of 16. You have to name the 16 individuals. A 3-minute timer here. Excuse the pop-up ads. So, and again, it gives you the answers here. So we know 13, 10, 9, those are our listings. My only discrepancy with this is like, is it just general titles? Is it more of just total titles? Or is it like world championships? So I'm just going to go ahead. We're just going to start. If you guys have some suggestions or if you want to throw out some names of some of the most decorated champions, feel free to just throw them in the chat there. I know for sure, Cena, 13-time world champion. One of the most decorated stars of all time is Edge. 4-time WWE champion. This might be WWE champions then. So we know like a guy like Orton has held the title plenty of times. Him and Cena are very much like the rulers of their era in pro wrestling. Other guys that have won multiple championships. I'm thinking Brock Lesnar immediately with 7. Triple H, the King of Kings, 9-time champion. I don't know how accurate this is. This might just be WWE titles then. Because Hunter has won 14 championships. And I think 5 were for the world title. The Rock has to be under. Yeah, The Rock at number 8. 8 championships for The Rock. I didn't realize he won it that many times. And he did win it following his return in 2012. 8 times for The Rock. Obviously, his counterpart, Austin, was only a 6-time champion. You would think a guy like Stone Cold Steve Austin would win the title more, but a 6-time champion. Another guy who obviously was a huge factor in the WWE's early success. You know I'm not a fan of him, but we got to give him his credit. Hulk Hogan was a multi-champion 6 times. 6 times. I mean, hey. Number at 5, I know for a fact Bret Hart held it 5 times. Yeah, 5-time champion, of course. We have 90 seconds left here, and we're kind of just breezing by. Sheamus has held it a few times, I know that. At 3. Oh, I gotta really like kind of lock in now with that many. Mankind. Oops. Undertaker has held it a couple times. Michaels. Now we're down to the final 4. Oh, man. Edge, Undertaker. Punk. Punk only held it like twice then. Okay. Oh, no. We're at like 50 seconds here. Mysterio. I gotta think. Oh, Angle. Yeah. I gotta think like Attitude Era because that title was flipping everywhere. Kane. Oh, I was kind of chilling for too long. Batista. Batista's one. Batista's not one, or am I spelling it wrong? 20 seconds and I'm down to 2 already. Oh, man. I'm drawing a blank. Who were the other 2? I'm already drawing a blank this early. Roman. How did I not think of Roman? I didn't even realize Bryan held it 4 times. I don't know why I thought Bryan held it 3 times. And then like with Roman, we always associate him with like the longest reigning title reign of, 1,316 days. It was a warm-up, a good warm-up, I thought, for the first quiz. I'm not really proud of it. I'm going to tell you the facts right there. Because how did I not think of Roman? Bryan, though, yeah, that one crept up on me. 4 championships for Bryan. But it's a good warm-up, nonetheless. We got 12 in the chat so far. Again, I want a little bit more retention. If we can get to like 20 viewers, 20 people in the audience, then we can get going there. Let's see here. So other topics here. Of course, a lot of former champions listing WWE champions, King of the Ring winners, Royal Rumble winners. We'll go ahead and we'll just do the Royal Rumble for now. We've already kind of got our warm up here. I feel very confident about the Royal Rumble. This is including women's? Yes, it's including women's all the way from 1988. 44 answers, 6 minutes. There's been a lot of repeat winners too. People have gone back to back. A certain Rattlesnake won 3 in his entire career. Hold on. I don't want it that big. That'll work. That should do it. I think that's a good size there. 44. Comment in the chat who you guys think is going to win the Royal Rumble this year. I mean, a lot of early predictions. I know there's like a big 3. Guys like Roman, Punk, and John Cena. Those are like the early favorites for the Rumble. Drop in the chat who you guys think will be the Royal Rumble winner. Hey, whether it's the men or the women's. And maybe you don't have a prediction, but who do you want to win? Who are some of your favorites? Go ahead and drop that in the chat. But we're going to go ahead and start. 6 minutes on the clock. 44. This one I feel way better because I can go in order. So the first one, Hacksaw Jim Duggan. Gab says Roman's going to win the Rumble. I mean, it's a strong pick. It's a very strong pick. Hogan went back-to-back. This was prior to like the whole getting a championship opportunity from winning the Rumble. After that was Flair. One of the best Rumbles. And they even gave us Charlotte there, so that's nice. 93 was Yoko. Another member of the Bloodline. Shout out to Roman. Gabs pointed it out. 94 was actually co-winners. Bret Hart and Lex Luger. Should have just been Bret Hart. Honestly. They kind of had it split between Luger. The story behind that too, in 1994, they had the co-winners between Bret and Luger, and it's because Vince couldn't decide who to put over. So he's like, let's just make it a tie. And whoever gets the higher reaction or the stronger reaction from the crowd, then we're going to give them the title at Mania. The crowd chose Brett, of course. Why wouldn't you? Speaking of Brett, his adversary, his nemesis, Shawn Michaels, went back-to-back. Shout out to Shawn. Favorite of all time, the GOAT. Then another back-to-back, another GOAT, Stone Cold, won 3. I think Stone Cold's probably the greatest Royal Rumble participant of all time. 3 Royal Rumbles to his name, 6 appearances, 36 eliminations. That's an average of 6 eliminations per Rumble that he's been in. A strong consideration. 99, dude. 99 was okay, but the fact that they had McMahon win a Rumble is crazy. And it was purely for the heat. But Vince McMahon won a Rumble. The Rock won a Rumble. As of course, why not? The Rock. Triple H would win after that in 2002. And he won in 2016. A random year for Triple H. Lesnar won a couple. He Who Shall Not Be Named. He won in 2004. They can erase him all you want, but he did win a Rumble, so it's hard to erase that. We just talked about yesterday's 2005 Rumble, Batista. I remember someone asked about Ray. He won a Rumble as well. The Undertaker won a Rumble. And then following that was Cena in 2008. He also won in 2013. 3.5 minutes on the clock. I'm feeling really good about this one. Because the Rumble's really just like the All-Star game. I've said that a bunch of times. But it's because you get to fit in so many different names. From the past, from the present, stars of the future. It's a who's who. Sheamus won in 2012. 2015, that was Roman. Yeah. Gabs already had him in the chat. Roman. 2017, Randy. And then once we get to 2018, that's where the women come into place, which I think was a great idea. Asuka won the very first one. Nakamura had won that year for the men. In 2019, we were actually there, so that was fun. 2019, that was the year Becky Lynch and Rollins, married couple, won the Rumble. 2020 men's. Who won the 2020 men's? Oh, that was McIntyre. I almost forgot McIntyre won a Rumble. Belair had a great performance in 2021. In 22, Rousey. I don't think I spelled it right. Shout out to Kevin in the chat. How you doing, my friend? Shout out to Tommy Ball. That's wild. Cody. Obviously won the last 2 for the men. 2023 was Ripley. And that leaves us with Bailey, who had just won the previous year. 66% is the average. And we did it with, under 2 minutes left? A little over 90 seconds, which is about the 90-second rule where a new participant in the Rumble appears. We got 12 in the chat here. Again, we're trying to get this number up a little bit more just to see if we can get some more participation in the chat. Have a little bit of surprise. Hopefully, again, just to recap, hoping you guys are going to have a great weekend. If you don't have plans, that's all good too. I like to chill. I know for us, we talked about this last night's stream. Won't be a live stream tomorrow. Is Saturday night's main event. Won't be doing a live stream because we're going to go out and we're going to celebrate a birthday party. A family member of ours is celebrating their birthday. Technically, it's their birthday today, but we're going to be celebrating tomorrow on a Saturday. Happy birthday. Quick shout out to my cousin Alex. Not Alex in the chat. It's a different one. So happy birthday to him. We're going to spend some time tomorrow with the family. Looking real forward to that. It's always a great time when we can get the family together and just hang out. Awesome time. So we won't have a stream on Saturday. It's looking like there won't be a stream on Sunday. Just to give you guys that heads up. Which is also why the reason I wanted to do a stream tonight. Just a random one. Because I'm not going to get to see you guys until like Monday. You know, I don't know about you guys, but I get a little bit of a separation anxiety. You know, if I don't see you guys for enough time in between there, I don't know what I'm gonna do. So we went ahead for a Friday night stream. I'm curious. I know it's early. It's only the third quiz I'm gonna hit right now. But to name every Hall of Famer is kind of crazy, right? I think I did this one a while back for like a video. Because I remember I did videos where it was just me, again, just doing quizzes. But like nobody was watching those. That was like early in the days when I was first making the videos. No one really watched them, which is fine. You know, you got to start somewhere, right? So it has been a minute since I've tried. So I'm gonna try. I get 17 minutes to name them. That's enough time, right? $152 names. Sounds about right. And it goes all the way from 93 to obviously present day. All these pop-ups, man. I forget to turn it off. Then again, for some apps, I might need them. I think my best bet is to start backwards, right? Because prior to like 2004, obviously I wasn't around for these years. We're going to try it. Okay. Well, I know for a fact Andre was the very first one. I think I'm just going to go for 04 and then come back to the 90s. So I know Superstar Billy Graham, Greg Valentine, Harley Race, Junkyard Dog. Who else was 2004? Ventura. Shout out to Jesse Ventura. Stud. Morocco. Snuka. Okay, Snuka was 96. Santana. Tito Santana. Slaughter. So then who is Heenan? Yeah, okay. Okay, so that wasn't too bad. We got through that one. I feel like from like the 2000s, it's kind of easier because I grew up there. So I know like Jimmy Hart, Bret Hart also. Hogan was in that year. Piper. Paul Orndorff was there too. Oh, my brother's going to love this. The Sheik. Iron Sheik. Shout out Iron Sheik. Who else was there? Oh my god, there's like so many guys to think of at this point. I said Piper. Oh, Cowboy Bob Orton. Volkov, because he was with the Sheik. Guerrero. Sherry was there too. Too many R's. The Blackjacks. Tony Atlas. I believe Okerlund was in that year. And then Greg Gagne. WrestleMania 22. That's why I remember that one so vividly, because 22 was my first live pay-per-view in terms of WrestleMania. 2007 was like Dusty Rhodes, guys like Perfect, Bockwinkel, the Wild Samoans. Yeah. Who else was in 07? Oh, that was the year Jim Ross and Lawler went in. And then Fuji. 2008. That was the year. 2008 was the year The Rock made an appearance. So I know Maivia and Rocky Johnson were there. Mae Young went in that year. I remember that one. I think Eddie Graham. Oh, Eddie Graham's already there. Oh, Gordon Solie. The Briscoes, because they were in Florida. I don't remember who was that last one. I'll have to come back, because I don't remember. Austin, Steamboat, Coco Beware. I remember that was controversial because I was like, Coco Beware, really? The Funks. We talked about the Von Erichs. They went in that year. I think Richter went in that year. Okay, not that year. Finkel. 2009. I'm trying to think who else was in there in 09. Was it Watts? Yeah, Cowboy Watts. I just had like a thought on who that might be in 08. Like it popped in, but now I lost it. It's like an older, it's got to be from the past. 2010. Okay, I'm going to try to rapid fire some. That way we can get going. Michaels, I know, was around this time in 2011. That was also the year Sonny went in. LOD. Armstrong went in that year. Abdullah the Butcher. Gorgeous George. Inoki. Edge went in one year. Foley. I'm just going to go like around like a bunch of people at this point. Because I kind of want to make up some time too. Because around this time, it was like a lot of the people like I was familiar with and I grew up. I jumped all the way to 2015. Warrior. Rick Rude. Oh, Mr. T. Carlos Colon, I remember that. Who else was in 2013? There was another big one. Oh, Booker T. And Backlund, I remember that. Mil Mascaras. Oh, the Horseman. And you know what? The Horseman gave it away. How did I forget? In 2008, the one I'm missing is Flair. Is it not going to let me? I have to type out the whole thing. Why doesn't it let me go through with the 4 Horsemen? I don't know why it wasn't letting me go through. I must have been spelling it wrong, I guess. Phoenix? I don't think it was that year, though. Yokozuna. Oh, and Simmons. I'm trying to think who else was in 2011. Because I'm missing 2. Did it say Ellering? Did that count? Okay, so that's Ellering. Duggan? Yeah, okay. So we're in good shape here. 2014, Roberts, I remember that. And Bearer. We have a little... Okay, so we're about halfway. And there's 10 minutes and some change left. So we're looking pretty good, I think. 2015, I remember Zabisco. If I can spell it, that's the problem. Okay, cool. The Bushwhackers. Rikishi. And Blaze. It's like during this time is where it was just like a lot of names. Angle. I know DDP was here somewhere. The Dudleys were there at some point. Again, now it's like I'm just going to be naming a bunch of, people around that time. Goldberg. Henry. I remember Ivory and Jacqueline went in. It was in 2016. That was in Texas, so that was I think Sting. And it had to be like some WCW guys too. Well, I'm tripping. I know Jarrett was in 2019? No, 2018, okay. Oh, Hillbilly Jim. So I got 2018. 2017, who am I missing? A tag team. Because there's always a tag team. I think I'm just going to... Okay, we're going to cut to present day. So Undertaker, I know, was a couple years ago. He was with Vader, Sharmell, and the Steiners. I remember that one very well. Mysterio. The Great Muta. Oh, the Honky Tonk Man. I don't know why I thought Honky Tonk Man when I saw a Tory. Who was the main in 2019? That was WrestleMania 35. I don't know. I know JBL and the NWO. There was a year where like they had all these teams going. So like Harlem Heat and DX went in. I remember Bischoff went in one year. Shout out to Eric Bischoff, by the way. He's one of my favorite general managers that Raw ever had. RVD, Khali and Kane, Molly Holly. So we have a little bit under 8 minutes and about 40, a little under 40 names to go for. 2024. Oh, Heyman. And then the Rock and Roll Express was there too. And the US Express. The Bellas were in one. Liger was another. Oh, these are gonna hurt. So who was? We said Sharmell. Leah Maivia. Who else was there? Because like in 2016, I'm missing a good amount. Okay, I'm just gonna come back to them, and I'm just gonna start naming some. Rogers was there. Morales. Mula. Putski. I think I spelled it wrong. Kowalski. Again, these are just like names that are synonymous with like the old times, man. Scotland, an old manager. McMahon. Vince's dad was there. The Valiant Brothers. Who else were like popular names back in the day? Stasiak? No, not Stasiak. I don't know. Oh, the Grand Wizard? Not that one. The wrestling one. The Wrestling Wizard. That's why I don't say the Grand. It was like managers. I'm pretty sure there was like another manager in there. Blassie. Classy Freddie Blassie. Oh my god. Strongbow. Baron. We're cutting it close. What is that, 18 left? 18 with like 5.5 minutes is not bad. I don't know about you guys, but I don't think that's bad at all. I'm gonna have to jump back. 2016, 2019. Because there were some people where it's like I didn't think they should have gone in. But 2016 is empty. Oh, the Freebirds? Because it's 2016, so that's in Texas. So who else were some Texas names? Hansen? Stan Hansen? And then I'm missing... No, because the tag team would have been the Freebirds in 2016. So who else? 2020, I got the Bellas, the NWO. I mean, Batista should have. I don't think they're going to count it. Yeah, because Batista was supposed to go in one of the years, but he just didn't. I got RVD. DDP. If you're in the chat, go ahead and throw out some suggestions here, because I'm drawing a blank now. 2020 and 2023, dude. 2024 was literally just here. I don't remember who was in because I'm really good with like the old ones. The more recent ones becomes like an issue for me at least. I'm trying to think. Okay, I put Savage. Yeah, I did put Savage. Steamboat. Who else was there like in the 90s? NWO, DX. I got them already. Am I missing any? Well, because it's like 2023. There's always one woman. There's always a female inductee. So who was in 2023? Did I put Keebler? Because I think Keebler was one. Yeah, that one I don't get. I don't know how she got in the Hall of Fame. Respectfully. And there's a tag team. So 2023 was in LA. I remember that. But who was in? Or was it? There's always a tag team. Twenty twenty four was in Philadelphia. Because a lot of times where it takes place also makes a difference. I'm going to jump back up. In 95 and 96. No, I already have James Dudley. Strong J. Strongbow's there too. Man, I might be tapping out already. No. I might be tapping out already. It's there. Especially like these, when it comes to these recent ones. Luger's not in, right? I don't think he's in. Maybe WCW guys. So, Sting, Goldberg, DDP, the Steiners, already named them. It doesn't count for celebrities either. It's honestly gonna kill me, dude. Oh, Godfather. I don't know how I pulled that one out, but the Godfather's a Hall of Famer. Big Boss Man. Yeah, okay, so we got 2016. 2019, the big one was DX, and they had Harlem Heat. Oh, the Hart Foundation. Yeah, because that was the year they had a bunch of teams in. And so who was the last one in 2019? There's one in 2020. I already got Bischoff. Bray Wyatt's not in it. He should have been, but he's not. Not yet, at least. I mean, to help, easier. Yeah, I'll type in Wyatt, but he's not in it. Because I remember that was a big one that we were talking about to put him in the hall. Shout out to AJ, though, for the suggestion. I think that's going to be it. We're at 4 seconds. Who are these people? 2024 Beefcake. I would have never gotten it. Brutus the Barber Beefcake, I would have never have gotten him. Like, aside from being like the friend of Hulk Hogan, honestly, what did Beefcake do? Honestly, would not have gotten Beefcake. The other ones, Bull Nakano, Thunderbolt Patterson. I would not have gotten Patterson. Bull Nakano's a good one, and I'm mad that I didn't get that because I got Alundra Blaze. Andy Kaufman, that's a celebrity. I wouldn't have gotten Kaufman. British Bulldog, I am surprised I didn't get because I literally named the Hart Foundation and Bulldog. I didn't put 2 and 2 together. What about the old timers? Captain Lou Albano. There's the manager I was thinking of. Johnny Rods, Pat Patterson. Pat Patterson, who invented the Rumble, by the way. Shout out to Pat Patterson. George the Animal Steel, Ernie Ladd. Antonio Roca. I don't think I would have gotten them all. I mean, clearly I didn't. Clearly I didn't. But I got a good portion of it. What was it? Like one, so I was off by 11. That's not bad. I don't think that's bad at all. But yeah, if you're just joining us here on the live stream, just a little hangout session on a Friday night. Want to do some quizzes. Naming all the Hall of Famers wasn't as easy as I thought. It's a lot of them, dude. 152? 152 is a lot of people. I'll go WWE Champions. 8 minutes for 55 names, and there's no repeating, so it's just one and dones. All these pop-ups, man. So I have 8 minutes. We have some time to kill here, right? So we know the first one was Buddy Rogers. After that, I think was San Martino. All WrestleMania title matches. Shout out to AJ. Okay, we'll do that one next. Pedro Morales had won it. Stasiak? Okay, no. So then that was Volkov. Or not Volkov. Koloff. No? Who won it in... Am I spelling it wrong? Okay, Koloff. Yeah, okay. I must have spelled it wrong. Graham and Backlund. I know that much. The Sheik was after that. Hogan started his reign of terror there. 88, Andre. Savage held it after him. The Warrior. Undertaker. Ooh, who was in 91? Slaughter. Vladimir Kozlov. Oh no, that's Vladimir Kozlov. This one was Ivan Koloff. Way before his time, dude. Way before his time. Flair. Hart. And then Yokozuna. What a trio. And then I know Diesel was in there. Shawn. And see, this is when it becomes easy. Because now it's around the time that I can remember. 98 was O'Kane. McMahon held it. Can you believe that? Can you believe that McMahon held the WWE title? I mean, he only held it for 6 days. But still, the fact that Vince McMahon held the WWE Championship is pretty crazy. Jericho. Lesnar held it. 04. Oh, Eddie. Eddie Guerrero and JBL. Cena. Edge and Orton. Because once you get one and you kind of like begin to mush them up together and you figure out like what era it was at that time. On 09, The Miz. I was in 10. Sheamus is the guy I'm thinking of. Batista held it. My boy, CM Punk. And then... Oh, Del Rio. Was that their Punk? Oh, Mysterio. Yeah. Dude, do you guys remember that? In the chat, do you guys remember when Rey Mysterio won the WWE title and he held it for like an hour. He held it for an hour because John Cena came out of nowhere and said, I want a title matchup. He said, sure. I'll give you a title match. And he held it for like an hour. 2017. I'm drawing a... Oh, Wyatt. I was going to say I'm drawing a blank, but I remember Bray Wyatt. Mahal. Kevin Owens never held the WWE title. I mean, okay, technically, if we're... Okay, are we going to go... Are we going to go that route? Because he's not technically the champion. Big E did hold the title. 2019. Oh, Kingston. $2020. McIntyre. And now I'm drawing a blank again. Brian Kendrick, boy. Can you... Brian Kendrick is crazy. That's a deep cut that Brian Kendrick held the title. How long did he hold it for? Like, what, 5 minutes? Not a lot of people are going to get that reference in the chat, but Brian Kendrick did technically held the WWE title. That's wild. Oh, dude, how did I not name Cody already? Cody, of course. 2021. 2K15 story mode had Rey mysteriously held it. Way less than 5 minutes? Well, dude, it probably was less than 5 minutes, but I was trying to be nice. What? I don't know. I don't remember. That championship scramble concept was crazy. 2021. Oh, Lashley. That's funny. Not a lot of people are going to get that reference, though. It was a great idea. I liked it. A lot of people didn't like. They thought it was too complicated or whatever. I thought it was cool. I liked the idea. I think they kind of took that and evolved it with the whole Iron Survivor matchup in NXT. And I'm a big fan of the Iron Survivor match. I like that. It's innovative. It's unique. I think you can see some similarities between the championship scramble and that. And then all WrestleMania title matches. That's the one we had in the chat, right? I want to see if it is there. There's one for main events. Oh, WrestleMania World Title matches. Is that the one? Okay, we'll go WrestleMania World Title matches. And of course, they put Hogan there. Good God. Good God. How many was that? 129? Okay, but some of these have to repeat, right? Jericho, Triple H. Hey, my guy's already putting in work. He's already naming them. I'll put in yours to begin with. Hogan, Andre the Giant, Jericho, and Triple H. How do you feel about Undertaker and old WWE games predicting stuff? This is funny. That's not the first time that it's popped up in the chat. That actually came up in a previous chat. And it has to be luck, man. Right? It's ridiculous. Miz and Cena. Good call. Go ahead and feel free to throw in more names in the chat there to help us get through this one. Or maybe I'll just leave it up to you guys. It had to be up to stuff. I mean, the whole reference to Eddie Guerrero and the Benoit stuff in the old video games is crazy. But it has to be pure speculation, right? But it is pretty eerie. Because I think the game Eddie Guerrero was thrown into the coffin was just days before his actual death. Which in hindsight is just, again, eerie. Good call. You said Benoit, Michaels, Triple H is already there. Cena, we already said. Edge, Undertaker, Angle, Lesnar. I'm just going to name like a bunch of guys that have obviously competed for the title. 34. Oh, Styles. Big Show's a good call. Let me throw in the Big Show. Edge. Did I say Edge already? Edge is in. Okay, Edge is in. 2000. Foley. How did we not say The Rock? 28. Jericho. Oh, we said Jericho already. Oh, Sheamus. Bryan. Did we say Batista? I don't think we did. 3.5 minutes left. Kingston. McIntyre. And Lashley. JBL's a good call. Shout out to PW101 here. Giving me a helping hand. Del Rio. WrestleMania 20. Oh, I didn't say Guerrero. Booker T. How did I not say Austin? Jeez, how did I not say... Like, Austin's a big one, dude. 36. That was the pandemic one, right? Who was fighting for... Oh, it was Strowman and Goldberg. Oh, I didn't say Bret Hart either. How many we got? Okay, we're down to already 8 with 2.5 minutes left. Luckily, it shows us the year. I don't think I said Miz yet, did I? Oh, no, I think someone mentioned Miz. Yeah, PW101 said Miz, so we put him. Cody. I didn't say Cody. 40. I put Warrior. Yeah, we already got Warrior. Good call. Wyatt. And then a 29, Swagger. Believe it or not, had a championship match. Down to the final 3. I didn't say Sid. 22. I didn't say Mysterio. And then at WrestleMania 11, Diesel. Slaughter. We got Slaughter. We got them all. Hey, that was a W for PW101. I'm going to give credit to them. Because they put in a lot. Look at all the names that they put in. We chopped that down real quick. I'm going to throw something in the chat here. My screen name is literally Pro Wrestling 101, Brody. All love. Dropped you a sub. Hey, appreciate that, Brody. It really is. I mean, I didn't want to assume anything when it said PW. I couldn't see the actual, like the picture on your screen. Pro Wrestling 101. I feel like you and I, we're right there. Appreciate the sub. Appreciate the sub. AJ says all European title holders. I got you, Brody. Now that's too hard. We're going to see. We're going to see. European title holders. You should see if there's one for that wild hardcore title match at Mania. I don't know, man. I think they have hardcore champions. Dude, and they had a lot of hardcore champions, actually. We said European champions. AJ wants European titles. We'll go European championships. And then maybe we'll give it a go for the hardcore title. Because there was a bunch of names there for hardcore championship. This one's not that bad. But granted, how many European champions can we name? 7 minutes. 36 names to go for. So obviously we saw in the picture, Bulldog. Dude, these pop-ups. Michaels, we know held one. I promise I can spell Michaels. There we go. Who else was a European champion, guys? I believe Bradshaw. European champion. Oh, Henry. D'Lo Brown. Angle. I remember that. I think Jericho was. Guerrero. Was Guerrero not one? Yeah. Benoit? No. PWA. He's coming out with a big one here. We said Bulldog. DDP. Guerrero, Henry we got. Jericho. I think we got Jericho. Yeah, we did get Jericho. The Hardys. Good call. Why do I feel like the Hurricane won it? Because he did. Did Dudley win it? Yeah. 2000. Val Venus. Held it in 99. Kozlov and Rusev. Now they weren't around for that one. This was way before their time. 97. Oh, Hunter. Because Triple H held it. Then he dropped it to Owen Hart. D'Lo Brown. Jarrett. Jarrett held the title. I said Angle already. Snow, Hurricane. I got them. Crash Holly. I didn't realize Crash Holly held it. Snow, I remember held it. That's right. Cage. Christian Cage. I'm telling you, man. Hey, you and I, we're on the same wavelength here, buddy. '98. McMahon. Shane held it. And then, I believe X-Pac. Jesus, if I can spell X-Pac. There we go. We're down to 3. Saturn and Midian. And Saturn. I didn't realize Perry Saturn held that title. So in 01, it wasn't Storm. He wasn't around that time. Who'd Eddie beat for the title? Oh, this one's going to hurt. Was it Albert? No, Albert never held it. Or Test. It was Test. Yeah, it was Test. Because if memory serves, I think that was WrestleMania 17. Eddie beat Test for the European title. With memory serving correctly. Big Daddy V is a crazy shout out. Viscera. Speaking of Viscera. He was in the Hardcore Championship match at WrestleMania 2000. So we're going to go ahead and go for the Hardcore Champion. Pretty sure I saw. Yeah, there it is. This one I think is tougher than the European title because there's 52 names. And like everybody and their mama held that championship. So we know it started with Foley. Mankind. Dude, let me get rid of these pop-ups. Bossman held it. We know Road Dogg. It's literally going to make me spell out Road Dogg. Billy Gunn held it. Hardcore Championship. Angle. Jericho. RVD. I think the Hardys had to hold it. Undertaker held it. We know Maven held it. Dreamer. Bradshaw. RVD had to hold it. He didn't hold it? I thought... Oh, I already put RVD. My bad. Who else was... We got Mankind, Bossman, Road Dogg. I feel like the Mean Street Posse. Yeah. Pete Gas. Rodney. I forgot the third guy. Oh, Joey Abs. Yeah. Oh, Stratus held it. Both the Hollies. Good call. All the Hollies. Mighty Molly held it too. Oh, Terry held it. Did I say Guerrero? Goldust is a good one. Christian. The Dudleys held it. Did Viscera hold it officially? Viscera did hold it. Taz? Funaki? Pete Gas. We got Pete Gas. Did Taka hold it? Taka Michinoku? Funaki? Dude, are you... We're just naming the same people at the same time here. Like, we're going neck and neck. Rodney. Got him. Did Val Venus hold it? I would have thought Val Venus would have held it. Kane? And Raven, I know, held that. The Big Show? We're 20 away. Got Taz. I'm starting to see it's just a bunch of guys from like WCW. Awesome. Mike Awesome held it. Steve Blackman. It's just naming. It's like when it comes to the hardcore title, it's just naming a bunch of mid-carders. Hurricane. Storm? No, Storm did not hold the title. Did Median hold it? No. Regal? I'm pretty sure one of the Godfathers... Yeah, I got the Godfathers. Dude, that is pretty wild that she held it. Who else held it, though? 2002. I'm looking at 2002. Oh, Steven Richards. Right? Yeah. Ron Killen. Dude, that's a great one. Yeah, K Quick. That's right. I forgot all about K Quick. K Quick, a.k.a. Ron Killens, a.k.a. R-Truth, who's been doing it for a while. Yo, I'm drawing a blank. It's a lot of them. There's a lot of... I feel like Patterson. And if Patterson held it, Briscoe had to hold it as well. We're down to the final 12. 4 minutes left. Don't fail me now. Keep the Page. Did we already say Page? Or maybe he just didn't hold it. Saturn. Yeah. Malenko? Nope. I'm just imagining people who might have helped. Did Terry? I don't think Terry Funk held it. No. Shamrock. We got the Dudleys. We got the Dudleys. Shout out. I'm like really concentrating at this point. China didn't hold it. I know that. I would have remembered China because I remember the females. I remember all the women that had held the hardcore title. Because like Holly held it, Stratus held it. We're tripping, bro. Ready for this? The Stooges. I got the Stooges. Yeah, I got the Stooges. Briscoe and Patterson. Because they held it around the same time like King of the Ring. Because I remember they had like that evening gown matchup. Ric Flair didn't hold it. Because Ric Flair was already, he was in WCW for the most part, and by the time he came over, he was in that managerial position. So I know for a fact Rick didn't hold it. Plus, Rick is a big enough name where it's like, oh, wait, I think we would remember that. We're down to 11. D'Lo Brown. Did I say D'Lo Brown? No, I guess not. Mark Henry. Godfather. I would have thought he would have held the title. Neither did Mark Henry. He didn't hold it either. I did say Kurt, right? Yeah, Kurt's in there. Edge. Test? Did Test hold it? Albert? No, not Albert either. I already tried Shamrock. Angle. I got Angle and Raven. I got them already. It's like you take a step back and you look at like, okay, the era and the year that they're working with. Like 2000 could be anybody. Eugene is crazy. Again, this is before Eugene's time. Or 02. Nowitzki. Chris Nowitzki. No? Oh, yeah, okay, I got Chris Nowitzki. Gilbert. I think you might be right. No? Am I just spelling Gilbert wrong? No, I guess Gilbert. That's a good one. I would have thought Gilbert held that. That's a good guess. Thrasher. And the Bulldog. Good looks on Thrasher, but I guess the Bulldog didn't hold it. Oh, no. Okay, because they have him under Davy Boy. Okay. They didn't have him listed as Bulldog. They have him as Davy Boy. 23 seconds. GG's. I don't know if we're going to get 7 in the next 20 seconds. I was about to say, yeah, because it sounded about right. I'm like, yeah, Davy Boy sounds like he was a champion. It's just he wasn't as Bulldog. He was as Davy Boy. This was back when he was like in the jeans, probably, in 99. 4 seconds. Let's see who we missed. I already got RVD. Al Snow. Rhino. Stasiak. I'm surprised I didn't say Rhino, because I was talking about ECW, guys. Just Incredible. Booker T. Oh, I didn't say Shane. Johnny Stamboli. We could have gotten Shane. We could have gotten Booker. Rhino we could have got as well. Would be a shame we forgot all Al Snow. How do we forget Al Snow? That one made me mad though. That 99, because that was like at the very early stages of the hardcore title. And I remember him having a match against Hardcore Holly. I think it was Saturday or St. Valentine's Day Massacre. I think. It might have been that or a Monday Night Raw. So it's like, how did I not think of Al Snow? We should be ashamed. That's crazy. In the snow, bro, where they fought in the river. Right? Okay, then I remember right. Because I thought so. Because I knew that happened. I was like, that happened at some point. And I'm pretty sure it was St. Valentine's Day Massacre. That was like famous for the steel cage match between Austin and McMahon when Big Show made his huge debut. Big shout out though to PW 101 for joining. Every cover athlete for WWE games. They're fun as hell. Thanks for that. Good time for real. No, hey, I enjoy them. I enjoy having the quizzes. Appreciate PW 101 as well. New to the live stream, you just stopped by. We're doing quizzes. I'm kind of taking a break from it right now because I like to talk and interact with the people in the chat. We do live streams on occasion. So we do some on Sunday nights. We do like gameplay. I'm usually playing WWE 2K. This last Sunday we played SmackDown versus Raw. My brother and we were streaming. Mondays we have streams. Thursdays we have these streams where we open the conversation to the public. I do like a poll where there's 4 options and the people get to choose what are the topics that we're going to be talking about. So for example, the first week we had a bunch of options where it was like the Von Erich family tragedy. We had the option of the plane ride from hell. We had the Matt Hardy, Edge, Lita, love triangle, and then there was a 4th option that's slipping my memory, but the Von Erich family had won the poll, so we just did a full live stream just talking about the Von Erichs and the whole tragedy and their whole careers and their impact on the business. And then yesterday, really, last night's Thursday stream, we talked about the 2005 Royal Rumble and specifically how it ended with the tie and Vince having to come out and talk about him like tearing his quads and just what a chaotic ending it was to the show. So I mean, we have a bunch of fun here on the live stream, and I appreciate you guys, stopping by. I'm not ending the stream, by the way. This is me just taking a break because I like to talk with you guys. So this stream's not ending just yet. But yeah, we have a lot of can I put on some WWE games with AIs to fight each other? Honestly, yeah. Was that something we want? I mean, I'll put on 2K right now. Daniel Puder was in that one. Yeah, we talked about that too, where Daniel Puder had won the $1 Million Tough Enough and had put Kurt Angle in the Kimura lock during that one segment, that one competition, and it was kind of like an unofficial punishment. And they had Eddie and Benoit and Hardcore Holly just chop the ever-loving hell out of him. And Daniel Puder wasn't there for that long either. He was there for a quick cup of coffee, if anything. Because he won the competition in December, if memory serves. Barely a cup of coffee. Is Big Show smaller than Andre? That's a good point. I took down the poll real quick because I realized what time it is. So I don't know if we're going to have time for that. Is he bigger? Is he smaller than Andre though? I mean, they want you to believe that Andre is nearly 8 foot tall. That's the way they kind of build him. I know they did that with Giant Gonzalez, but I think they're very similar in height. In terms of weight, Big Show was pretty big, if you remember that. He was able to lean down for sure. Big Show is like a longevity Andre. Big Show's definitely like the modern day Andre, I will say. Can you imagine if Big Show and Andre were together during that time? Because you would have made so much money back in those days of having Andre versus the Big Show filling up arenas. Like, people were gonna pay for that. They were gonna build that as like a Godzilla versus King Kong type of a matchup. Would it have worked? I think so. At that point in time, I see no reason why it wouldn't have worked. Andre was making huge money. They billed him as, what was it, like undefeated for 15 years. Whether that was, factual or not. Big Show breaking the ring had me at school the next day. Like, no, dude, in the Big Show, it wasn't just a one-time thing. He's done it like twice, I believe. Because there was the one where it was with Brock Lesnar, and the other was like Mark Henry, almost 8 years later. Big Show had beat Hogan in his first night for the WCW strap, right? Yeah, that's right. I believe it was Halloween Havoc. Was it Halloween Havoc? I think it was Halloween Havoc, like in '95. Bro, that has to be like the last match for the day. Yeah. Well, in 2003 when they did it, it was. In 2011, it was the Vengeance pay-per-view, and it wasn't the last match. The last match was a last man standing match between Del Rio and Cena. So they had the match in the ring that was like destroyed, and there was no point in repairing it. Because one, it was the last match, but also the stipulation didn't necessarily need a ring up like that. That's a great pull, though. Great pull there by PW 101. And even AJ bringing up the fact that they broke that ring. They recently did that too with Strowman and Bronson Reed. Remember that? They were like, I guess we just ringing the bell. How did Alberto and Cena even enter the match? I mean, there's a reason why people remember the match before it, the Henry versus Big Show, and it wasn't like it was a bad match. They worked around it. It worked well with the match that they were having, and the story they were telling with the Last Man Standing matchup. But it's like at that point, like, what do you do, right? Alberto roll up with the car, like, back her up. Facts. Back her up is crazy. Yeah. And that was back in 2011. I remember that very well. So, that was around the time with the Punk stuff. The Punk of the summer of 2011. Which was fire. That was a fire time. When Punk had dropped the pipe bomb, he won the title. Granted, he lost it at SummerSlam for a quick second there. Got it back at Survivor Series and held it for 434 days. That was cool. That was cool. They kind of dropped the ball, though, during that summer angle with the whole Kevin Nash and Triple H stuff. What's cooler, breaking the ring or the old school getting choke slammed through the ring? I say going through the ring. Breaking the ring's one thing, but when you saw guys like Edge go through the ring in 2008, JBL in 2005 when he was chokeslammed through the ring, I think that stuff's cooler. Because it's, again, one thing to break the ring, But to go through the mat, that's another thing. I thought that was really cool. We are about over an hour into the stream. And I promised you guys a surprise. You see, over the course of these last few weeks, we've been growing as a channel. We've been growing as a community. We've been doing this for quite some time. We talked about in last year when we made the pivot to pro wrestling. And it's not just pro wrestling. I mean, I'm obviously a huge fan of pro wrestling, but when it comes to these live streams, I talk about a lot of things with you guys, whether it's sports, movies. We've been doing that lately in the past too. We opened up the Main Event Mafia to give you guys the opportunity to become members, to gain access to other content that other people aren't able to get to, whether that's the unique videos, the shorts, posts. I want to do some member exclusive live streams as well. And we've had some people join. We've had some people join the ride. And I appreciate them. And I'll continue to voice my appreciation for people like Sylvia, like Gabs, Alex, Sanfran 5, Mama Ramos. Like, I appreciate that so much. So we're seeing a feature here on YouTube. You know, they want to help us out. They want to help the channel grow. They want to help grow as a community. And we appreciate that. So we have the memberships already available. But YouTube is gracious enough to provide these features. So at random, for the members of the J area, for the members of the live stream, they gave us the opportunity to gift these memberships. Now, I don't get to choose who. It's at random. YouTube at random selects them. So a big shout out here. Again, I don't necessarily get to choose who. If it was up to me, I would have chose everybody. But a quick shout out here to Bart G 312. Welcome to the Main Event Mafia. Erica. My glasses are over here fogging up. Carrie. Topo. Colin. Welcome to the Main Event Mafia. It's awesome to be able to continue to grow this community and welcoming you guys to the next step, the other side of it all, really. Thank you for the hearts in the chat. AJ says Hornswoggle with the chicken under the ring. I remember that. Eddie's top moments, him being mean to Ray. He was a great heel. Eddie could do it all. Eddie could do it all. One of my favorites growing up. But once again, I want to go ahead and welcome our newest members of the Main Event Mafia. I didn't even know it was a feature until earlier. And I was like, you know what? I want to be able to show my appreciation because you guys have stepped up and have continued to just show up and show out the support and the love on this channel, on this endeavor. Over the course of the last year, we've seen a lot of involvement from our diehard members, from our diehard fans and supporters. And I think it's an awesome opportunity to kind of give back. So I love that that's a feature there. I'm hoping you guys enjoy the exclusive content that comes out of the membership and consider moving forward, becoming a member of the Main Event Mafia along with the others. Because like I said, we're going to have more exclusive content. We've had a couple. On the main homepage of the channel, you can see there are some member exclusive videos. For example, there's a short. There's a couple videos. With those exclusive videos, I want to kind of provide a more behind the scenes, kind of intimate, more of a setting, not as much editing, but it's more like a conversation between you guys and I. Talking about whatever's going on in pro wrestling or just talking about what's going on in life. And I open that up to you guys. AJ says, I bought the Undisputed 1000 title from WWE Shop because of him. That's fire. That's actually fire. That's the Undisputed title we do want to have eventually. But obviously you can see over my corner here, over my shoulder, I have the Winged Eagle, which was actually a gift, a birthday gift. So shout out to my family for that. Damn, I didn't get one this go around. I'll try and join next week during pay week, bro. I appreciate that. And welcome, of course, to the J area, PW 101. I appreciate it. And it's a feature that they kind of give out every now and then. So what I want to do is every stream, maybe not every stream, every now and then on a stream, if we're feeling so bold, we'll throw them out there. Why not? Why not? Because I do want other people to see what's coming over there, what's going to come out of that. But I do appreciate it nonetheless. Maybe next week during pay week, bro. Hey, facts though. Because we all got bills to pay. That's the thing that sucks. I'm going to tell you right now. I'm going to be frank with you. Growing up as a kid, my main worries was like, okay, who was Rey Mysterio fighting? Are the San Francisco 49ers going to win? And when is the new Spider-Man movie coming out? Those were my main concerns growing up. But now it's like as an adult, you got to go to work. You got to pay the bills. You got responsibility. I'd give anything to go back. I'd give anything to go back to those days. Now it's like I got to have a bedtime. I mean, yeah, as a kid you have to have a bedtime. But it's like now it's like, no, I got to go to bed and get some sleep so I can wake up in the morning and go to work. I got bills and a 3 and 4-year-old. It gets tough. I believe it. Still ain't got back over water after the holidays. LOL, it keeps it real. I bet. A 3 and a 4-year-old. Man. Well, congrats on that, first of all. That's a beautiful thing. But I believe it gets tough with the bills, man. I 100% believe it. So big ups for you. And it keeps it real. As you should. As you should. Early on during these live streams, I kind of presented myself almost like in a semi-formal type of like sports analytics stuff. Like I very much find a lot of inspiration from a guy like Ernie Johnson from the NBA, Rich Eisen from the NFL. And I remember having a conversation with my dad. And I was like, what those guys do for their sports, I would absolutely love to be that for pro wrestling. And so early on, I was kind of semi-professional and just talking facts and whatever. But these live streams really allow me the opportunity to open up with you guys and just have fun and be loose, you know? Santino's winning it, the IC title. Oh, man, I love the IC title. The Intercontinental Championship is one of my favorites. Probably my second favorite championship is the IC title. Not look, but just the history of it. My favorite championship in terms of looks is the Big Gold, the World Heavyweight Championship, the classic World Championship. That's the greatest championship of all time. PW 101, they 10 months apart. Yeah. So it's like there's a point in the year, maybe I'm wrong here, maybe my math isn't mathing, but there's a point where they're the same age then. Or maybe I'm off. 10 months. Back to back. I've always said that I think, and I mean, to be fair, it's not up to me, right? I'm not the one giving birth to the kids. But I think, somewhere between 2 and 3 is a good amount. 4 maybe you're pushing. I know some people with 7 kids. I don't know how you do that. And it's not like, sets of twins or triplets. It's like, boom, 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 like one after the other. Like I got to give them credit. That's amazing. Because I think for me, max is 4. Yes, sir. Between October 13th and December 21st, they are the same age. Man, that's crazy. That's crazy. October 13th. That's close to my brother's birthday. People in the chat, they know him by Sanfran5, who often shows up on the live streams. Wasn't able to show up on tonight's live stream, unfortunately. He had to work, got to pay the bills. But on occasion, my brother Sanfran5, he joins us, whether it's in the chat, whether it's on Discord, whether it's on person. He had to handle his business tonight. But yeah, October 13th, that's close to his birthday. His is October 9th. Big Show gave birth mid-match. That's crazy. Speaking of giving birth, remember Mae Young? Mae Young when she gave birth to that hand? That's obviously one of the more infamous storylines in pro wrestling history. The fact that, what was she, like in her 70s? 70s or 80s? But she has a relationship with Mark Henry, gets pregnant, and then gives birth to a hand. Now, for people who are unfamiliar with that storyline, because it was back like in 99, that was wrestling in the 90s, the Attitude Era. I remember when they had the hand come back 20 years later. Yeah, Raw 1000. Mae Young comes out with this guy dressed up like the hamburger helper hand, and like, oh, I'm Mae Young's son, and it was literally a guy dressed up as a hand. I want to see if I can pull it up real quick. I don't think they're gonna have it. But this is the picture for people who can see. There's Mae Young. There's Briscoe. Mark Henry, the proud father, and they gave birth to a hand. You can't really see it. It's not really the best picture. Mark Henry just wanted to wrestle and do World's Strongest Slams, and they came to him with this. I know, dude. It's hilarious. But I feel like Mark Henry was a good sport about it. Like, he understood. He understood that it was all entertainment. Kind of like a guy like Kurt Angle. Where it's like these guys were serious athletes, Olympians. But they knew that they couldn't take themselves too serious. Yeah, it's not going to pop up. But yeah, one of the more infamous times that the WWE, that had to be a Vince Russo thing. Because I think he was still with them. He hadn't gone to WCW yet, at least to my knowledge. Mark Henry. Oh yeah, Mark Henry did bend a. It was that and a frying pan. Katie Vick could get it. That is crazy. That's actually nuts. The Katie Vick storyline's crazy though. The fact that they went through with that. Like how did that even? I don't get it. Here's a quiz for you. Shout out to Sanfran5. What happened on May 19th? Well, we know that was when See No Evil was coming out. Remember the May 19th stuff? That's a good shout out too. Kane and the May 19th stuff. Kane appears and kills. Imagine. Don't tell Kane. He was pissed. Whenever you would do the whole May 19th, was it Robert Conway? I think Shawn Michaels like had a match with Robert Conway and had him dressed up in like a yellow t-shirt that said May 19th all over, and then Kane popped out and like destroyed him. Gets electrocuted by the car battery. Dude, Kane in the 2000s was unhinged. Kane in the 2000s was like, I know San Fran, we officially friends. That's wild. The Shane McMahon electrocution. You guys remember Gene Snitsky? The baby punt? Some people who aren't familiar with these topics are like, what are they talking about? Where was Vicky Guerrero in the birth certificate match? The birth certificate match? Are you talking about the custody of ladder match for Eddie and Ray over Dominic? Yeah, she was in the crowd. It wasn't my fault. A shout out to Gene Snitsky. Don't punt the baby. No, that was a wild time. But I really liked Kane in 2000s. Some people don't like the Kane in 2003. Once he got unmasked, there were a lot of people who were like not in favor of it. Not in favor of it. You know what about Chubby? Dude, don't even get us started. So San Fran 5 and I, we always laugh at that. The Val Venus and Kai stuff. That stuff is wild. The stuff they were able to get away with in the Attitude Era, I don't think it goes without saying. It would not fly in today's world. But I tell you what, looking back at it, it is pretty funny. It is pretty funny. Nah, Eddie was pissed during that match, asking where the hell is Vicky. I guess she had a spot in the custody match. Oh, yeah. Okay, so now I know what you're talking about, AJ. Yeah, because there was a point where she was supposed to knock down the ladder. Eddie was on the ladder. He was going to, pull down the briefcase. But Vicky's spot was to push the ladder over, preventing Eddie from winning the matchup. And she was in Gorilla, I believe. I think she was in the back and missed her cue, which, I mean, it's Vicky. She was new at the, to the business. She's not a professional. So Ray, I think, is the one that knocks over Eddie again to save face. And I think that's the one you're talking about, where Eddie's yelling, where the hell is Vicky? Although he doesn't say hell. And like slaps down on the mat asking where's Vicky because she missed her spot. Good memory there. Yeah, and San Fran 5 says she was in the crowd but didn't know when her spot was. Yeah. I mean, she was new. She wasn't a trained professional. PW101 says it was fantastic TV. The Attitude Era was crazy. But that matchup, since you brought it up, the custody of Dominic ladder match was the first pay-per-view that we had bought as a family. And I specifically wanted to buy that pay-per-view because of the ladder match, because Shawn was fighting Hogan, and I never liked Hogan. I was always a Shawn guy. And John Cena was there, Batista was there, and then Edge and Matt Hardy had their matchup right after Matt Hardy came back. So I remember vividly, it was on TV, and it was back when you could buy pay-per-views like with the remote. And I'm going through the pay-per-views and I see SummerSlam 05, and I'm like, oh man. And like a little hesitation. And it's like intrusive thoughts kicked in, and I bought the pay-per-view without even like consulting with my parents. And I remember telling my dad, I'm like, I think I just bought the pay-per-view. And keep in mind, I'm like 7 or 8. I think I just bought the pay-per-view. And he's like, so you want to buy pizza? Don't gotta tell me twice. Shoot, don't gotta tell me twice. I could have easily been in trouble, but no, they were like, okay, we're gonna buy pizza and let's watch the show. So that was also a great moment for me. I have very fond memories of that. I remember we had pizza, we had wings there as well. And I would even go so far. I had to include it in my collection. You can't see it because of the glare, but this was the very first pay-per-view we had bought as a family. So I look at SummerSlam '05 with like loving memories. Should have been an episode of the Maury Pop. Yeah. Or like Jerry Springer. Well, okay, that's the thing though. The Attitude Era was like, I think, heavily inspired by like the Jerry Springer shows of that time. So it's like, yeah, it's straight from there. Shock TV. That's a dope memory, bro, for real. Yeah. Damn, so you heard it. Yeah, you could hear it. I'm assuming you're referring to the Eddie and Vicky stuff. Yeah, you could hear it. I think there's an edited version though. I don't know if they've edited it on like the network, but yeah. I got the same DVD. I got 2 copies of that pay-per-view, the single disc and the one that's in the anthology box set. I wanted to get the anthology box set. The SummerSlam one, and it was like in this like a cooler type of a casing. Super cool. Like, I mean, no pun intended. It's awesome presentation for the SummerSlam box anthology. I wanted to get the WrestleMania one, and I saved up money for it. And when I finally went to the store to buy it, they didn't have it anymore, and I was like, damn. But I do have volume 3 of the Royal Rumble anthology, which was like 98 to 2002. But then obviously the WWE went digital and everything's on the network, so, or not network, but Peacock now, Netflix if you're in, outside countries of the US. But I have like an extensive collection of DVDs. I know there's people out there who have way more than me, no doubt. I got the same. My first pay-per-view was the Royal Rumble where Benoit won, 2004. Yeah, I have that one as well. What a year to start though. '04 when Benoit won, 2004. Yeah, so because we've been watching, at least I've been watching wrestling since I was 2, and that was like back in 2000. But my memory really kicks in like around '03, '04. That's when my memory kicks in. And '05 was like just a great year for me as a fan. I got the 3 sets, WrestleMania. Oh, you got the SummerSlam ones and the Royal Rumble. And then they did a Survivor Series one, no? But I don't think they ever finished it. I think they started the Survivor Series anthology and just never finished the other like sets. '04 is a fantastic year to start. Yeah. That's actually a question I get asked about a lot from my friends who are either not pro wrestling fans and want to be. They ask, where do I start? Because like there's so much wrestling. What year do I start? And I've always told them what I did is I worked backwards. I just started watching it. You kind of get invested. So for example, my friend wants to start watching it. And I said, just start watching it. You don't got to start a certain year because it's a lot of stuff. It's a lot of content, a lot of pay-per-views, a lot of matches, a lot of stories. So I say, just start watching it. You're going to gravitate towards certain people. You're going to become a fan of certain people. And then that's when you start diving through the past. So for example, if he becomes a fan of Seth Rollins and you like his stuff, well, now you know, okay, watch the Shield stuff. Watch his NXT stuff. Watch his stuff with like Brock Lesnar, back in 2019. And you work your way backwards. Or you like Seth Rollins, then you might like a guy like AJ Styles. You introduce him to TNA. Shawn Michaels, Eddie Guerrero, guys like that. You work your way backwards. That's the way I've always believed it. Because if you're going to start a certain year, it's very difficult. You can't. So for the people in your life who want to be wrestling fans, want to start becoming wrestling fans, and they ask you where do I start? Just start. Evolution, Eugene, Bischoff, and that's just a tip. Just a tip from Raw, not including SmackDown. I was always a SmackDown guy. Granted, growing up, we didn't have, I think at that time it was on Spike, Raw. We had access to like UPN and like the channels that SmackDown was on. So I grew up a big SmackDown fan. That's why I loved watching guys like Eddie Guerrero, Rey Mysterio, Kurt Angle, The Undertaker, John Cena when he first started. I've always been a SmackDown guy. Start them off with Jay Lethal versus Ric Flair's Woo Off. What a funny moment, right? Jay Lethal, talented, obviously in the ring, obviously, but his like Ric Flair and Macho Man impersonation are top notch. It's a shame that Jay Lethal never really got a fair shake in terms of like mainstream appeal, because we knew him in Ring of Honor, obviously in TNA, in Impact. Oh, excuse me, in AEW, he's still a fixture, but it's not the same. It's not like he could become a world champion right now. His best days are behind him, but Jay Lethal, great run in Ring of Honor and TNA, a legend for sure. He won against Kurt on accident. I gotta brush up on my TNA. I obviously, for those who are new to the channel, primarily we talk WWE just because what it seems like is the audience, the members of the lives, are familiar with the WWE stuff. But I do watch AEW. I watch TNA here and there. I always like check in during like the 2008 to 2010 run. That was like the sweet spot is when I was watching Impact. I've always been a fan of WWE, but that's not me saying like, oh, WWE is the best and these are other trash. I'm not a fan of that. I don't like trashing other promotions. Is it fair to say WWE is at the hottest it's been? Yeah. But that's not me saying like, oh, if you like AEW or if you like TNA, you don't know what you're talking about. It's like, no. No. You can watch all wrestling. ECW, WCW, NXT, WWE, TNA, AEW, even Japan, New Japan. I watch some of their stuff. I'm not going to say I'm an expert, but I know basic knowledge in the general ongoing events in New Japan. Because Kurt Angle didn't want to hold all those titles and just wanted the big one. Well, yeah. Wasn't that crazy too when Kurt Angle? I think Samoa Joe did the same thing, where they held like the tag titles by themselves, but Kurt held like the X Division Championship, the Tag Championship, and the World Championship. Imagine them doing that in the WWE or anywhere for that matter, not just WWE, but to hold all those championships is wild. Kurt Angle in TNA though was next level. I've seen, I don't know if you guys are familiar with Chris Van Vliet, his podcast Insight. I'm a huge fan of his. I love listening to his interviews with wrestlers from the past and the present. I think he's very knowledgeable, and the way he conducts his interviews are just, it's top notch. If you know, you know. If you don't, I suggest you check him out. Chris Van Vliet, Insight. He's another inspiration for me when it comes to like pro wrestling podcasting or channels. He interviewed Kurt Angle recently. And Kurt Angle's time in TNA, man. Because you think about it, he started in the WWF in 99. Left in 06. So almost 7 years he was with them. Because he debuted at Survivor Series 99. And he left a little bit before the SummerSlam event in 06. 7 years. He goes to TNA, which is in 2009. And he wraps up there in like 2016. And you could argue his best matches were in TNA. Guys against Samoa Joe. You know, matches against even like Sting, AJ Styles. Like TNA during that era, the talent was immaculate. Immaculate. I watch every CVV pretty much for real. He's dope. Dude, I keep up with him as well. I'm sub to him on YouTube. I got him on Spotify for every episode. I just finished his interview with Kurt Angle. I'm now on the Baron Corbin episode. I just started that before I recorded this, or before I started streaming. And I listened to his recent episode, today's episode, the Ask CVV, where he has this segment where he answers all his questions. But I'm on the Baron Corbin episode, and I love his work. I think he's great. Yeah, he's top notch. I feel like he's an evolution of that one British black haired guy that did WWE top 10s in the 2015 on YouTube. Forgot his name. The one British black haired guy that did WWE's top 10s. See, I wasn't really watching their YouTube stuff. The WWE. I don't really watch their YouTube stuff. The black haired British guy. It's gonna escape me. But no, Chris Van Vliet, I'm a huge fan of his. Just the way he conducts his interviews, the way he treats his guests, and as well as the way he interacts with him. He looks like him. Wrestling Days. I don't remember his name. It's gonna kill me. If you figure it out, throw it in the chat, because I would love to know who it is. Because I'm the kind of guy now where once you introduce like a topic or something in my head, I gotta know. I can't just leave it. I gotta get back to it. I gotta figure it out. You know. But yeah, CVV. Chris Van Vliet, again, for people who aren't aware, obviously my friends AJ and PW, they know. They're familiar. It was Wrestling Days. Is his name. I got you. I never saw these videos. So I'm not familiar with it. But look at you. Look at you with that off the top of your head, man. Oh, okay. I think I see. So I've seen this guy here. I'm gonna throw it up real quick. You can't really see, but I'm trying to find a picture of him. But this guy. Because I've seen him before. I've seen his clips like on TikTok or... I'm thinking, okay, my mistake. I'm thinking it was like a guy that worked for the WWE. But he must have been like doing content kind of like this, just talking about it. But there's a lot of content creators when it comes to pro wrestling. Wrestling is my whole life, bro. I wrestle in the indie circuit here in my state. No kidding. That's I didn't. Wow. For how long? You say you wrestle in the indie circuit in your state. That's awesome. First and foremost, that's awesome. To say that you are as dedicated to the craft to jump in the business. Because not everybody can do that. Me, I'm a big fan. I enjoy talking about it. I sure as hell enjoy watching it. So this is very much like a hobby that I would love to turn into like a career path. But for you to physically throw, caution to the wind and partake in it, that's commendable. That's awesome. And I feel like from the onset, man, I mean, you've joined the live and like clicked. You got it. There was a time there with the quiz, I felt like I was almost going against you because you were naming the same names as I was. And we were going neck and neck. So immediately, like I can tell that you know your stuff. But now to know, like, hey, you say wrestling is your whole life and you wrestle in the indie circuit. I mean, that explains. That makes sense to me, man. But that's awesome. Well, I'm glad that you were able to find the channel and that we were able to find you and welcome you as well as AJ. because correct me if I'm wrong, but this was AJ's and yourselves, first time participating in the chat. I don't know if you guys have seen the other videos, but certainly this is the first time I've seen you guys on the live stream. So, I just want to welcome you guys and appreciate you for choosing to spend your time here with us on the live stream on a Friday night. Like I said, we do other live streams sometimes on mostly Sundays, Mondays, and Thursdays, but I don't think there's going to be one on Sunday. I could be wrong, but I'm going to tell you right now, it's leaning towards a no. I had my first legit indie show match in 2010. I've slowed down a bit with my kids, naturally. But even before then, it was in the backyard. Before that, on the trampoline. Before that, on my bed with the old wrestling buddies. Classic. Thank you, bro. I'm happy to be here. We're happy to have you. Genuinely, we'd love to have you. And that's the thing, too. I didn't really get to do the whole preamble because we just jumped right into it. But when I set out to create this channel, yeah, I've seen a lot of other people create their channels and their content revolving around pro wrestling. And it's cool. And I love it. It inspired me to do this. I will say the name that really inspired me was Chris Van Vliet. I know his isn't really content creation. It's more of a podcast and an interviewing setting. But I think something like that would be so interesting to tackle that as a career path. Obviously, you guys are just joining us. I hate doing that. I hate saying so much. I gotta stop. But for me, I've always wanted to join like sports media, talk about sports and analyze and just discuss the ongoings. Pro wrestling very much is my passion. I've been a fan since I was a young kid as well. I was 2 years old, and here I am about to turn 27. And there's been times where I almost tried to stop watching, but I couldn't. I got bit by the wrestling bug. So I wanted to create this channel, open up the opportunity for other people to discuss pro wrestling in a safe environment, man. Because there's some people out there who, for some reason, are so against pro wrestling. Would you believe that it's 2025 and you still have people out there saying, hey, that stuff's fake, right? Yeah, dude. And so are all the other movies that you watch. Get over it. So I wanted to create an environment, create a community, the J area, of course, where we can all come together and just shoot the breeze, talk pro wrestling, talk about life, if that were to be as well. That damn wrestling bug is deadly as hell. Facts. There's nothing like it. There's really nothing like it. It's a form of entertainment that covers all grounds. We're talking the athletic side of it, drama, acting, essentially, crowd participation, the adrenaline that one could get by being in the live setting. There are so many different production value. There's so much that goes into it. Pro wrestling itself can provide so many jobs because you're talking about people who can write the stories, the people who are going to wrestle, the people who are going to produce, the people who are working behind the camera. It is a whole-on production. Whether you like the in-ring stuff just for it, alone, or if you're like me and you just love the grand scheme of it all, it is a deadly wrestling bug to get bitten by, for sure. So we set out to create this channel, and it was supposed to be a pro wrestling channel for pro wrestling fans by a pro wrestling fan. And that's why I enjoy doing these live streams, because it gives me an opportunity to go ahead and interact and connect. Hey, it's nowhere near fake. Do we train, practice? Absolutely. But man, I bleed for this biz. I've spent nights in the ER for it. It's nowhere near fake. It's an art form. Facts. Could not have said it better myself. And this is coming from an individual who's never been in the ring. But I don't think it takes someone to be in the ring to acknowledge what an individual puts themselves through. The physical sacrifice, and even the sacrifice that it deals with one's personal life. Because as a wrestler, we see that there's a lot of travel. There's a lot of dedication, not only to the training aspect, but mentally and emotionally when it comes to the ups and the downs of the business. I'm sure you can attest to that. And I don't want to speak for you because you have your own experiences. You know what you've been through. You know what you had to sacrifice and endure. But it's because of that passion that you're willing to go through it. You talk about how you guys train and practice and you've bled for this business. That demonstrates the dedication and the passion for it. So when people say, again, this is coming from someone who's never been in the ring. By no means am I an athlete, I will say. But I can recognize, yes, it's predetermined. It's scripted. I don't like the word fake. I think that's stupid. I think it's ignorant. You don't say fake. It's predetermined. It's scripted. You can say that. But the action, the physical toll, it's real. You've literally said you spent nights in the ER. And the fact that you said it's an art form, it really is, because like I said, it tackles so many different avenues. Whether it's, like we said, the athletic form, whether it's the storytelling. When you think of art, okay, stare with me here. Art is something that makes you feel. It gives you that emotional investment. If something can evoke emotion, if something can have your investment into it, that's art. When people are crying, listening to a song or watching a movie because it connects with them, people consider that art. So what's the difference with pro wrestling? Because there's been many times where I've seen a match or a story has resonated with me, and it brought a tear to my eye because it resonates. And if it's able to pierce into the deeper side of your soul, that's art, man. That's an art form. So for people to demean it like that, it's like, you don't have to do that, dude. You don't have to say those. That's just being a hater at that point. We don't want to tear people down. I hate the people who try to bring people down to put themselves up and put themselves over. That's not for me. And that's why with this channel, we try to be very positive and welcoming. We've had many people join the live streams, many people join the channel and the membership who are diehard fans, who are very familiar with the business and the content and the matches and the history. They're very familiar. And then we've had other people who are just getting into it, and they're taking notes and they're asking for suggestions. What match should I watch? Who should I become a fan of? And we welcome that. I've said it time and time again. I don't care if you're an old fan, a new fan, what background, what gender, what you identify as. I don't care. If you are coming into it with an open mind and you are interested in pro wrestling and you want to talk about it and you just want to hang out with some friends, that's what we're here for. Leave all your problems and your stresses elsewhere, because we come here and we're just chilling. We're just relaxing. We're just talking. We're just hanging out. Sanfran5 says, for the people that say wrestling is the F word, then just fight Bob Holly. Ask Daniel Puder. We talked about Daniel Puder. Ask Daniel Puder if it's fake, because he was over here fighting MMA. AJ, bro, that top 10 British guy and his whole staff that he used to have, I can't find anything about. I know he had a controversial thing in 2015, but I can't Google anything. Oh, so he has a history then. Think big white teeth, looks like Chris Van Vliet, British big YouTube top 10s before WWE. Oh, are you talking about Adam? Adam Blampied? Hold on. Think big white teeth, looks like Chris Van Vliet. Hold on. I think I know who you're talking about then. Yes. Adam Blomby. Yeah, I liked his stuff, but yeah, he got into some real trouble. I know exactly who you're talking about. I liked his stuff, but yeah, he's, from what we've heard, not really the best guy. Yeah, I know who you're talking about. I spent 2 days in the ER because I split my shin open on a simple superplex spot. Foot slipped on the rope, gashed it open on the post. Ah, damn. Finished the match. For maybe 60 to 70 people in the crowd and a hot dog and $10 gas money for it. And I'd never trade it. Man. You know, there's really Chris Van Vliet better in every way. Yeah, Chris Van Vliet for sure. Top notch guy. But I guess the saying is true because we've heard it time and time again where wrestlers will seek out opportunities to perform in front of an audience just to obviously get experience, get exposure. And the old saying is for a hot dog and a handshake. And again, I'm never going to try to compare because I'm not in that position. I'm over here in the comfort of my chair talking in front of a camera. But I guess it is real when you talk about a hot dog and a handshake. And the fact that you said you never trade it, man. My respect goes out to you. And I'm really fortunate and I'm really happy to know that you found this channel and that we found you. So like I already said it before, welcoming you, but I think that's awesome to have someone who is familiar with the sacrifice, familiar with the process that it takes to move forward in this business. AJ says, I was Googling all this nonsense. I mean, what really helped was the fact that AJ, what really helped is that you were talking about how the controversial thing, and you said the big white teeth. And I was like, oh, I don't know why, but that worked for me. It's definitely real. I've wrestled straight for free more than once. I believe it. I believe it, man. You do what you got to do. Kurt Warner is obviously Hall of Fame quarterback for the LA Rams, or St. Louis Rams, I guess, and then the Arizona Cardinals. But one of his sayings, one of his quotes, and I think it's so important. But Kurt Warner said, sometimes we have to do, no, what he says, I already botched it. We have to do what we have to do before we can do what we want to do. And I think that's just important to recognize that sometimes if you want something bad enough, you got to handle your business first. You got to do what you have to do before you can do what you want to do. And you talk about, hey, you worked for free more than once. Handle your business and do what you got to do. So at the end of the day, you know what you need and you know what you want. So it's like, I mean, I don't got to tell you. You know what you're going through. And this isn't just to PW 101, but this is to everybody. Everybody who's listening out there. At the end of the day, you know what you need and you know what you want. So go ahead and pursue it. I'm very big into quotes. And another one comes to mind, The Pursuit of Happiness, 2006. Will Smith, The Pursuit of Happiness. And it says, you got a dream, you got to protect it, you got to go get it. So that's awesome. I love it. Love the conversation that we're having here on a Friday night. This initially started off as a quiz, a live stream revolving quizzes, and very much value the conversation that we're having here. I would absolutely love to have both AJ and PW 101 back on the live stream. Like I said, we have them on occasion about 3 to 4 times a week. And I always put up, you can't be Batman if you are Robin. That's crazy. I usually put up some sort of a community post or a notification, saying when we're going to be going live. Like I said, Sunday, Monday, Thursdays are usually the day. And we typically go live 9 o'clock Mountain Standard Time. Because that's what time it is over here in Arizona. But on occasion, we will have like a special one today. And that's kind of what I wanted to do. I did this at a different time to see maybe if there were other people out there who maybe aren't on the other times that we do the live streams. I hit notifications. I'll be at the streams, my dude. Hey, appreciate you. Appreciate you, brother. I think it's a success because, like I said, I wanted to do it at a different time, see if we can find anybody else out there, and I think we did. So, super grateful. Appreciate you guys. I'm gonna go and start closing down on the live stream. We've been at it for a couple hours now. Loved hanging out. Love the chat. Very appreciative and grateful to find new friends here in AJ and PW 101. Appreciate you guys spending your time here on a Friday night talking pro wrestling with us here in the J area. Keep an eye out. We'll be going live at some point throughout the week again. Keep your notifications on, like my friend PW 101. We got the J area podcast that comes out every Monday. Clips throughout the week, shorts throughout the week. If you haven't subscribed, make sure you do so. And also consider becoming a member of the Main Event Mafia. I know it's taken from TNA. They haven't copywritten me yet. No cease and desist. But join the Main Event Mafia, get exclusive content, and pretty soon we're going to be doing exclusive members-only live streams where you can only participate if you are a member. So keep an eye out for that. Appreciate you guys again. Hope everyone has a wonderful rest of their evening or morning, depending where they are in this big, beautiful world. Hope everyone enjoys their weekend. Have a safe weekend. Enjoy Saturday night's main event. I know I will. And we'll all get back together at some point. Everyone stay cool. Stay safe.